YouTube, good morning. I am Miss Tia, and this is the I Am Miss Tia show. Ooh, I haven't done that in a while.
She says she's been bitten from head to toe.
I don't know what been chewing on me, but I know I'm ate up on me. Watch how she up the score, her number 4 play.
Good morning. Good morning. It's crazy, crazy this morning. Let me see if I can get off the alarm. I couldn't get it off. I couldn't get nobody on the phone. Like, hey, this alarm won't. Crazy morning, but I gotta get off. I gotta get off today. Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Like I said in the opening, I am Miss Tia. Thank you for tuning in. Listen, let me say my disclaimer. The views are mine and mine only. If your favorite rapper, celebrity, politician, internet personality catches a stray from me talking crazy, forgive me, charge it to my head and not my heart. This is commentary, not combat. I'm going to try not to be rude because some people, they are rude with their commentary, right? I'm going to try not to be. If I am, leave me a comment and be like, Miss Tia, you was rude today. I will try not to be. Thank you for tuning in once again. Great topics. Wayne, Yeezy, right? I think I got some Chris Brown. The versus battle, who won, right? I even got some Kendrick Lamar, Come on, we got to have Kendrick Lamar. It wouldn't be right. Goody Mob also. One of the topics today, crazy good. Once again, thank you for tuning in. If I have to stop because of my light situation, right? My light, I can't get it right. Forgive me, try to step ahead and I'm hard. Okay. I'm gonna get into it. I think I got 20 minutes. Plus, I'm waiting on the people to come to the tech to come to do this alarm system. I don't know what's wrong. What we got? The versus battle. Let's start here. The versus battle. I said my intro. Okay. Let's start with the versus battle. Great. What do you think? Who won? Listen, I said to myself, I'm going to let Cali decide who won, right? Cali versus Cali at that point. The Game versus YG. What do you think? Did I watch it? Yeah. I tried to watch it as much as I could. I did. Interesting. Exciting. Watching the culture out there in California it's very interesting, right? Different from where I'm from. I'm from Alabama, so it's very different. To me, I'm gonna say this. To me, when I watch the guys from California, to me they always seem to be at war. I don't want to offend them, but just for what I see, they're always at war with one another and also different entities, but interesting culture to view and look. And it's more than just I'm a spectator, right? And I think we have to be careful when we become spectators of other people's culture and the way of living for them, right? We have to be very careful. So I'm going to try to be very careful with my commentary, walking the line, not being offensive because I don't know the culture. And I'm just a spectator. And you have to be careful. I'm going to say that again, of how you comment about other people's way of living. And that's so good because a lot of the topics today, I think I'm going to talk about Tyrese too. A lot of the topics today kind of go with that. Judging from the outside like you kind of know what's going on and you don't. So you have to be careful. Let me get into this. My opinion about the verses. Great. I think Game is one of the artists that I grew up on. And YG is one of the newest artists now that I'm learning to I'm singing, I'm learning his work. But this is my view from the verses. I don't want to talk too much about the music. Great music. A lot of them, they do talk. Their music really kind of forms around their culture, right? The gang life, right? So that's that. This is some of my notes that I that stuck out, that I wrote, that stuck out to me. I said this. I said, watching the Game, because I remember when the Game first came, right? And I was watching him and I said, did the Game take anything away from being in that room that he was in. You got to think about it. The game set amongst the Dr. Dre's, the Eminems, the Waynes, the 50 Cents, right? He sat among some of the most elitist artists and people in this music industry. So I watched him that night on the Verses, and I was wondering, was it a character he was playing, or was that really him? I was struggling there. Recently on a lot of platforms, I've been hearing a lot of people sharing different views and ideas of who Game is. So that was great to know. So now that when I'm watching him, I kind of view him a different way due to the people expressing his personality, right? So shout out to the people you know you are, who's kind of speaking from the inside of the room about Game's character. So it make me kind of go like, So as I watched him on the Versus battle, I was wondering, like, who is that? Who was that we saw on the Versus battle? Was it a gimmick? Was that real? Right? Because I remember when the Game came in, I don't think I knew he was representing a organization. That's a great word for it, right? But I don't think he was laying it out so thick. Is it me? I don't think it was so thick as what I saw the other night, right? Watching him with 50 Cent, because he came in under that umbrella, the Dr. Dre and the 50 Cent. But I was like, did the Game take anything away from being in the room with such great legends of our time? Anyway, something is bothering me. I don't know what it is. I can't see it. I don't know what it is. Okay. I'm sorry. That was too much. Huh. Because everybody's not going to be able to sit amongst the Dr. Dre's and the Eminems, right? So to lose that, maybe this is why he is acting the way he's acting now, because you lost access to some of the biggest people in the game. It's crazy. A lot of people trying to say who won. If I have to give, I don't want to, but if I have to say who won the Verses, I know a lot of people saying YG, but it's a lot of people saying YG because they are from that. They're from the land. They're from that culture. So they see it that way. But a lot of people who's not from LA, California, whatever, they would say Game due to the difference in the music, right? When I listen to YG music, his music is more music. His music is more regional, right? If that makes sense. When I listen to the Game music, you can tell he sat in the room with a lot of people who understand the technique and how to cook this music where it can have foundation and it can go global. Do that make sense? Am I saying that right? I'm hoping I'm saying this right. You can hear the music sounds so different from the YGs and the Game. And I think it's due to who was in the mix of them being able to do this music thing. It's a difference. YG give me more local, regional, and Game give me more global. His music can go farther. So this is why it's hard for me to say who won, because it's a difference. It is. It's a difference. The teaching is different. You can tell Game was amongst some elites that showed him how to orchestrate putting music together. Mm-hmm. The mentorship the Game had was superb. It was superior. It was top notch due to YG kind of figuring it out on his own, right? I'm kind of like that, YG. Don't worry about it. We self-made. um, but you can tell. But like I said, I'm gonna leave it to LA to say who won. You know, that's their backyard. The game bothering me though. I'm saying, what happened? What happened to the game? How did he lose such a position? Was it his ego? Huh? Hmm. Um, I see why he's upset with Kendrick. Do I want to say that? Maybe I shouldn't say that. But I see. I don't want to say that though. But I see. Let me say this. I'm gonna read this because as I was watching the game and I realized his fall from grace, this came to me. I read this. Listen to this. I'm gonna try to read this. Let me see if my reading skills going. Let me see if my reading skills gonna kick in. Okay, let me see if I can see this. Listen to this. This is two people. Which one are you? Listen, it said, I realized the hardest battle wasn't against my circumstances. It was against the people who were afraid I'll outgrow them. Some tried to convince me to shrink my dreams because my growth made them uncomfortable. Never let someone else's fear become the ceiling over your life. You don't owe anyone a smaller version of yourself just to make them feel comfortable. Become everything God created you to be. The people who truly love you will celebrate your growth without resenting it. Huh. I thought of that watching Game. He was great for the moment, right? Do you think it's over for the Game? Is he done? You know, you don't really ever get those chances over and over. It's very few people that get a redo, right? Or can get to what they call that when they say, oh, they got an extra boost in their careers. Very few. And I think it goes with change. I don't know if Game ready to start a new chapter in his life because watching him the other night, it showed me he went backwards. He said something on the stage that caught my attention. He said, and I'm back here. And I'm like, you shouldn't be back there. But I understand. Because we do. We go to comfortability. We'll find ourselves going to comfortability instead of pushing forward. Like, when you kind of mess up, right? Most people will go back to what they know, right? It's very few understand the science of pushing through. Oh, this is good. It's like a storm. You ever been riding on the, you're riding to the different cities, right? You going to another state and, sometimes you run into a rain pocket. You can get fearful and pull over until the rain, something in my eye, until the rain died down. Or, this is for people who are travelers, you can push through because it's like a rain pocket. If you can get over to the other side, it's no rain there, right? Do this make sense? I'm trying to give an example. I go there sometimes. Some of us don't know how to push through the rain pocket. So we'll revert back or we'll pull over hoping that it'll clear. I felt like Game didn't know how to push through, like a lot of people. So don't feel bad. A lot of us are there. Some people call it reinventing. The Game should have been the Yo Gotti of California. Don't you? Do you agree? He should have been more ahead. Having so much access. I'm sorry. I'm thinking as I'm speaking. I'm winging this. But this is what I'm thinking about. Huh. He should have been so ahead. He should have been. But Yo Gotti and them, they came in as hustlers. So. But he should have been so far ahead with the access. This is what I was thinking today, too. I got a couple minutes for the segment. Your character is everything. keep your name clean. I come from the generation where your name, because you never know. You may have a moment where you kind of like ain't doing nothing, but if you good, somebody gonna remember you and be like, oh, you know him? He could do it. Go get him. But you gotta keep your name right. Great battle. Let's move on. Okay, let's go here. Did you guys see Chris Brown? Right? I was looking at this article. Chris Brown. It says the Chris Brown reportedly Chris Brown reportedly reportedly. Oh no, did I write that? Says he's been experiencing bad dreams, and after the viral unstage moment with married women, he's now saying he won't repeat it again. So Chris Brown, I don't know if you guys are watching. Chris Brown and Usher is on the, I was going to say Cherries tour, right? The R&B Usher and Chris Brown tour, going around from city to city. But listen, I was going to put a clip in, but maybe I shouldn't because it's a little bit too much. But Chris Brown, he have a segment where he pull people up on stage and he do this kind of take it down. I want to see you take, right? It's a lot. Ooh, it's a lot. Because I saw some of the clips and I was like, I had to swallow like, ooh. It's a lot. Right? So he have this segment where he bring different women up, right? To give them the experience of being with Chris Brown, the superstar, right? And honey, let me tell you something. They take it in too. Ooh, they take it in. They take it in. And it get wow. It goes to the limit. I remember growing up. Do any of you guys remember when Bobby Brown had the Bobby Brown tour and he used to do the same thing? Okay, I'm trying not to do too much moving up here. But you remember when Bobby and I was a young girl, but I remember it. And he used to have the women up and he would take them down like that too. And I think Bobby Brown got in some trouble at one time with it. So Chris Brown, slow down. Did that rhyme? Chris Brown, slow down. So it said that the article said something about he's been having bad dreams. He said he think it's due to the married women who's been coming on the stage. But you know what's so crazy? This is to the married women. Why y'all up there with that boy? Go home to y'all husband. I guess some women said, let them have a little fun. But listen, you're bringing bad juju on the boy, right? Chris Brown, how about this? Just get one of your dancers, right? Just keep it there because it can get dangerous where it can become some kind of case too. So you gotta, sometimes I don't think a lot of you entertainers think or have the people around you to say, let's think about this. Because my thing is, why even bringing random people on that you don't know? Maybe he's screening them first. I don't know. But I think you need to do that. Let's just keep it safe. Get one of your dancers who already know the routine and just keep it there. That's the safest way you're going to do that. And then you can keep your moral type of stand, your financial in place. It's a lot you can prevent. Sometimes I don't know who y'all got around y'all. This is good. Plus, let me add on to this. Chris Brown pleaded guilty to the London case. I don't know if you guys have been following this, but I've been seeing this. He did it was a nightclub brawl, but he pleaded guilty. He would be sentenced October the 26th. And a lot of people say he may get some time. How do you come so far to now maybe you have to sit in jail? That's crazy. You don't get all of this to revert back. That's weird to me. Shout out to Chris Brown. A lot of people try to put him in this king of something seat. Not yet. Kanye West. Listen to this. This is good. Kanye West now has the most platinum or gold records of any artist in history. Y'all know I like ye. I know a lot of y'all gonna be mad. about this, but shout out to Yee. I like Yee. With 69 new certification, he now holds 137 certified tracks, surpassing Young Boy, which everybody, Young Boy, he been the one with the most plaques because he put out a lot of music. And it's not saying necessarily his music is good, but he put out a lot of music. So I think this is how he end up how he holds so many plaques or whatever. But Kanye have surpassed it. Okay. Shout out to you. Listen to this. Jamie Foxx. Did y'all see this? Jamie Foxx was spotted out and about, right? He took a picture. I thought it was dope. He was spotted, and on his shirt he was wearing, I'm going to put a picture up. The shirt said, Jesus is a black man. Ooh. That's going to make him hot. That's going to make him hot. Jesus is a black man. I guess with Jamie Foxx having that near-death experience, he just said, you know what? I'm finna live my life. This is my truth. This is what I'm learning. This is what I'm understanding. And hey, I almost was up out of here. They almost took me up out of here. But I'm here. Right? That was a lot. Shout out to Jamie Foxx. He is a black man. This is good. This is good. Lil Wayne. I don't know if you guys paying attention to this, but I'm noticing this. Lil Wayne been doing these interviews with a group of kids. One of the kids I think I seen on the interview with him, Little Dicky, right? I think Little Dicky and a couple of his constituents have this kind of podcast where they talk to a lot of people, because I also saw them talking to Lizzo. So I've seen the show before. But this is what amazes me. And for some reason, the clips just constantly stays up on my feed. But Lil Wayne having a casual conversation. You know what, Lil Wayne? I ain't crazy about Lil Wayne. I didn't grow up with the Lil Wayne. Like, I remember Lil Wayne, but see, I grew up with the Juveniles and the BGs, right? Lil Wayne was just still Lil Wayne. So, and then I went off to learn some things. And so when I got back, Lil Wayne was this big star, right? So, seeing Lil Wayne being very casual, having a conversation, being very attentive, being relatable, conscious speaking, it's kind of refreshing. Everybody in the industry paint Lil Wayne as this kid who just don't know. He don't know. He just don't know. All this. You hear this from a lot of people who been in the room with him. They always say, he just don't know what he need to know. Because I think with him not knowing, he's been taken advantage of throughout his career, being in this state of, I don't know. Put down the cup and know something, Wayne. So be honest with you, I've been enjoying the little clips of him having a conversation. I think one of the conversations I ran up across he was having was about aliens. So interesting. And just different conversation. I think he was one of the clips I saw, somebody was saying something about the reason why he's named Lil Wayne. This is just culturally something that happens in New Orleans. So I think it's a great look that Lil Wayne is stepping out and showing his personality to people who treated him like a mute, right? So I think Wayne needs to do this more, because he was a father of many of people who you see today. A lot of people revered Wayne. So I like that he's coming out and having a voice. This is good for him. You humanizing yourself, Wayne. This is something you should have been doing for years now. So I really like that. I think he needs to also talk to different people, right? I not necessarily say he need to come down and be with some of the podcasters who want to talk about the drama, but I'm really enjoying the fact that he's sitting with people who's pushing him to talk about things that we don't think Wayne is very conscious about. So I really like that. Shout out to Wayne. Listen to this. This is good. Goody Mob. This hurt my feelings too. Y'all know Goody Mob, one of the legendary groups out of Atlanta, right? Who's that peeking in my pie? Nobody now, right? Cujo, Timo. I'm sorry. Some flying. Big Gip, CeeLo. But anyway, I think I was looking at them. I think the show was Jock in the Morning. I don't know if you guys paying attention to this. Jock in the Morning had Goody Mob on. And I think Goody Mob is maybe talking about touring or having some kind of shows, right? But the question was, where is CeeLo? So my thing today is, could Goody Mob tour without CeeLo? Could we palette a Goody Mob without CeeLo? Even though Big Gip, Timo, and Cujo are superstars of their own, but CeeLo gotta be there. CeeLo gotta be there. And my thing is, CeeLo, why aren't you there? Are you okay? Like, this is for the culture and the fans. You gotta be there. Even if they gotta give CeeLo his own solo kind of thing after the group thing, saying let CeeLo close the show with just his stuff. Because that Nars Barkley was everything, right? So make it work. Right? Because these are legendary groups, and we are in the time where all of those groups are able to come back and gain some kind of financial thing off of this industry that you guys kind of orchestrated. Because if it wasn't for the Goody Mobs, the Outcasts, blah, 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 right? A lot of those Atlanta artists could not run. So let's make that work. Let's try to figure out how that can work. Where the big wigs at? Who got the money? Drop a bag. Because I do believe Goody Mob, as legendary as they are, who gave us conscious rap with some 5 beat, right? If you go back and listen to Goody Mob, they were speaking facts. They say that this community is so drug free, but it don't look that way to me. What? CeeLo. Goody Mob was good. Let's make that work. How can we make that work? Okay, let's go here. Kendrick Lamar. Y'all know we're going to talk about that. Shout out to Kendrick Lamar. We love Kendrick Lamar. Listen, a snippet was released last week. I'm a week behind, but I'm going to talk about Kendrick. Y'all can go bye. He released I think DJ Don, D-A-H-I. Listen, I say people names wrong. I'm sorry. But he released a track off his upcoming album. I think it's the DJ's album that he's finna produce. And Kendrick got a song on the album. Did I look at the article right? Was I right? Right? Childish Gambino, Kendrick Lamar, they recently previewed a song called How to Pray on this Gilga radio platform, right? Once again, Kendrick. I can't stop saying good things about Kendrick because you can see his work. The guy show you that his writing skills, he deserves to be in the top 30. He deserves that. His writing skills is immaculate. He shows you that he can go R&B. He can jump genres. The guy is a great writer. And with him writing this song, How to Pray, is more like a melodic R&B. Kendrick just shows you that he's more than just rap. He can jump genres. He's a great writer. Man, I loved it. I think watching Kendrick's career and what he does with music, his gifts, this is what makes me a fan of his. When you see greatness like that, you got to pay attention. You don't get a lot of this. You don't get a lot of these. I remember talking to one of my friends. He's an older guy. I was talking to one of my friends and I was asking him, I was like, will we ever get a Whitney Houston? Will we ever get a Michael Jackson? Will we ever get these entities again? He said, yeah, they're coming back around. And I think Kendrick is in that fold. He's one of those gifts that a lot of you guys, if you don't get past the bull, you're going to miss it. But he's one of those entities. He's one of those gifts that God give us every quarter or something like that. Shout out to Kendrick. And there's a lot of other people. And it's not so much, a lot of people don't realize this. It's the gift is not always just necessarily in music. A lot of you guys got gifts in being able to move the crowd through your words. Like, y'all don't even understand how powerful you are to be able to get people to think a different way. Are you crazy? What? Anyway, shout out to Kendrick. We can't wait. Anything Kendrick drop, we scratching for it. We scratching for it because we know how important it is for the culture. What I wrote. Kendrick is a great songwriter. Jumping genres. It's just in his DNA. In my DNA. Yeah, that's what it said. Listen, last topic before we get up out of here. Did y'all see this? This was crazy. Tyrese, honey. Tyrese on Tyler, I think she's an African singer or something like that. He said Tyler this is what the article said. It said something about Tyrese comment on Tyler speaking on the backlash of identified as colored. Points to select outrage. So this is Tyrese. I don't know if you guys know this. Let me see if I can do this real fast. So Tyler is this African star where she had an interview in the beginning of her career and she kind of identified herself as not Black America. She's just said she's African, da, 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 da. And to be honest with you, it turned the people off in America. It just turned us off. We didn't, I wouldn't necessarily say we didn't understand, but it turned us off to where we was like, we don't know if we want to buy. I don't think we want to buy that. And so a lot of people in the industry is very upset that the poor Black America, let me say that y'all don't want to buy it. They're very mad. So Tyrese took upon his platform like he always do. And he said this is what got me. This is what made me talk about this. He said, never, ever listen to the opinions of people who have never had a passport. Ooh. I thought that was disgusting. Never ever listen to the people who've never had a passport. Who you talking about? The streets? The hood? Where you come from? How long you had your passport, Tyrese? And to be honest with you, let me say this to the hood. They need you. You need the people without a passport. Because if it wasn't for us, this machine doesn't move. And I'm tired of people discrediting the less fortunate. Not knowing that we the people who keep this thing operating. Everybody know that. The poor is the biggest consumers. But you treat them like trash. And I thought it was very disrespectful that Tyrese used those words towards his community. Right, Tyrese? Hello, Tyrese? Hello, Tyrese? Since you're so concerned about who got a passport, won't you go and drop a couple $1 million down at the passport desk, and then you tell your community to bring 2 forms of identification so they can get a passport? Since you're so concerned about who ain't got now. Huh? And then everybody can experience this thing of foreign regional situation, right? Global going over. It's just like me going to Brazil. I would never go to Brazil and just with my nose up in the air because I know I'm a child of the king and not exclude that I'm coming into somebody else's land. I'm going to do whatever the people of the land do. When you're in Rome, you do what Rome do. I'm going to come respectful. I'm going to even come with a gift. Everybody know when you come into somebody's establishment, when you come into somebody's home, when you sit with the prophet, you bring a gift. Right? You don't be rude. Right? And for Tyrese to say that about people who looks like him is very disrespectful. I ain't taking it back. It's disrespectful. Because the unfortunate, the ignorant moves the ship. We fund these operations. We spend our hard working money to make you live the way you're living. And how dare you? How dare you talk crazy to people who don't got a passport? With the poor? I just thought it was disrespectful. Tyrese need to be checked on that. When you come into somebody's house, you let them tell you where to sit. Right? See, that's what's wrong with y'all. Y'all walk up in people's house, you go in the refrigerator, you go walk all in the back room. When I grew up, when you walked in, you stood at the door. You allowed them to say, come on, follow me. Come this way. Or you can have a seat. See, this was wrong with your new children. This was wrong with you. You don't have respect. And so instead of Tyrese talking crazy to the poor, you should have told Tyler how to respect the culture that she's trying to consume. Huh? Now, Tyler, when you go in this house, right? You up here trying to chastise the poor. We ain't buying it. The people said no.